Hello, I'm Christina Bickley, part of the science team at Cavitt Junior High. We're so excited that you're able to watch our video tonight. For science at Cavitt, we are very proud that we have a very hands-on program that is NGSS aligned, the Next Generation Science Standards. In 7th grade, our focus is on the science and engineering practice, as well as genetics, Earth and life history, evolution, and ecosystems. We work very hard at Cavitt to make our science program what they call 3D. The 3 dimensions of science are well represented in our whole program, and we're excited to continue our level of accomplishments in science. Our kids tend to be very great scientists and good science thinkers, problem solvers, and very great collaborative workers. As you can see, a lot of hands-on activities in the class requiring good collaboration. Another part of 7th grade is an optional elective in STEM. I teach that class. We focus on forensics for the first trimester. Then we move on to more biomedical sciences, where kids will do things like dissections. We dissect an eye, cow eye, and a heart, and a sheep brain, as well as sheep heart, actually. And we focus a lot on the forensics in that first trimester, where we do things like DNA evidence, fingerprints, blood typing, crime scene identification, chromatography. If it's forensics-based, we do a lot of hands-on activities in that as well. We do some bioengineering challenges, like designing a two-way heart valve as part of our engineering challenges in our biomedical sciences, looking at levers in our body and whole body systems as well. In optional add-on for STEM is our advanced STEM program, where kids are challenged to follow their passions and make choice-based science selections on things they're interested in. I give them some guidance on what possibilities might exist. We're excited to include Little Bits, which is a robotics sort of starter set on robotics, but ends up with some really creative activities coming out of that. They work on inventions. We have some bioengineering challenges. I'm proud that we have the Cavitt Nature Trail, as well as the Cavitt Garden. So students are able to do all sorts of plant, animal, and insect observations out in both the garden and on the nature trail. We also do advanced dissections. Some students will opt to do a fetal pig as part of their dissections in advanced body systems. And then we've also integrated the art and science of folding, looking at how practical applications of the ancient art of origami are being used in science and engineering today. In 8th grade, students will have another STEM option, an opportunity. It's broken into 3 different trimesters. One focuses on design and modeling, and we use the CAD software and 3D printers, which is a really exciting addition to our program, and as well as VEX robotics and design and modeling. Sorry, I said that already, but VEX robotics, and students do programming of different robots. And then new to our program this year is the environmental studies program. So thanks for looking at our programs.
Hi, my name is Deanna Hampton, and I am a math teacher at Cavitt Junior High. I teach 8th grade math. I teach IM1 for a high school level course, and I'm also the department chair for the mathematics department. And I'm going to give you an overview of what our math department looks like at Cavitt Junior High. We have 2 things that I wanted to talk about right off the bat, which is content standards. And content standards are what we teach. And then the standards for mathematical practices are how students show learning. And I think that's very important to make a difference between the 2. There's been some, information about Common Core. Some people like it, some people don't like it. But if you can think of Common Core as not just showing your work, but also explaining how you understand and how you came to your conclusions, is what Common Core means to the math department. Not that can you do an algorithm, but can you explain the algorithm in context? We do a lot of visual activities in our math department. We do something called I Think, I Notice, I Wonder, and we give students some visuals that they look at, and they try to find out what kind of information that they can get from that picture, what's curious, can they connect it to anything that they're learning or have learned in mathematics or just in general. So I'm going to go back to that picture for a second. So this is one of the pictures that I would post in my classroom, and my students would get some alone time. I call it solo time. That's where there's no talking at all, and students have protected time to think, which is extremely important. So the students would look at this picture, and as you're looking at it, you might be thinking, oh, it's a bunch of blocks, but there's so much more. But here's what students observed. Students observed things like line of reflection. They observed the area model could be used. They saw that a volume could possibly be used. They saw area of a rectangle, and they noticed that they are different shapes, the colors, areas of triangles. And then I love the last one, which is I used to play with these building blocks. They're building blocks. So it kind of connects to something they've been playing with all of their life. Another thing that we do that's extremely important is we do pattern problems. Because algebra is the study of patterns, we like to show students that seeing patterns and repeating patterns and then finding rules for patterns is where we want them to get to. But we do it in, I think, of a fun and interesting way, which is just showing a series of patterns and saying, what do you recognize about this pattern? Is there something that you could predict is going to happen? That's the sound you'll hear every time it's going to be a passing break. And what we do is we scribe as the students are working. Again, they get solo time, and then they work together in partners, and then we share out. But this is all the information that from this particular problem, a student can communicate all kinds of learning in this manner. We've got an area model, we have a table of values, we can find an equation that can be used to predict any figure number, and that's a great way for our students to build understanding about algebra. We do math journals in class. We have activities like Barbie Bungee. Today is Pi Day, even though we're taping this on March 13th. Tomorrow's March 14th, and it's a Saturday, but we still have to celebrate Pi. It's a math teacher's rock star day. So we do something called Pi Day celebration, and anything that can get the students interested and engaged in the mathematics and applying the mathematics. We have 3 courses. We have the standard 7th grade mathematics, and we have the advanced 7th grade mathematics, and that would be 7th graders taking the 8th grade content course. But they are tested for the CASP test, and they would be tested as a 7th grader. Then we also have 8th grade standard math, and then we also have an 8th grade advanced course, accelerated course, which is the IM1 course that Granite Bay teaches. So we follow them closely, and it is a full IM1 course. Some sample core problems, things that students would look at. There is something called depth of knowledge. We have a level 1 depth of knowledge, which is just your expression or algorithm, and that's straightforward, do the math. And then we have a level 2, which might engage into the problem a little bit more, where we'll get the students thinking. And then a level 3, which is where the students create their own problems, so you can really see if they're understanding the mechanics of the math that they're working on. And that is the end of my presentation. We are here to support students in any way possible. We have Math Lab. Teachers are always available to help. We have lots of resources online. And we are excited to have your child here at Cavitt.